In part 3, we look at how to encourage appropriate behaviour in teenagers.
Now that we've looked at what influences teenagers, let's turn to what we can do to promote behaviours we like.
We look first at how to develop and maintain a positive relationship with our teenagers and how to increase desirable behaviours that we see occasionally. There are also tips on how to help teenagers learn new skills and behaviours.
The first thing we can look at is how to develop and maintain a positive relationship with your teenager.
It takes time to develop and maintain a positive, caring relationship. Look for frequent opportunities to spend a few minutes together when there's no pressure to get things done.
Lewis and I, we both enjoy going to the cinemas.
Sometimes we go play basketball at the beach and then we just jump in the water, or we'll play video games or board games, things like that.
We watch TV a lot together.
We love to watch.
We're addicted to certain shows, and that the whole family watches, And and a lot of the shows were brought to us by by Lauren, our teenager. She was like.
Sometimes, while you're spending time together, there'll be an opportunity to talk. Perhaps start with something about yourself, something that happened today, for instance. Then ask about something you know they're interested in or they've been doing.
So I'm going to the Monster Trucks this Arby.
And what time does it start?
It starts at 5.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
did you want to come?
I told Dylan and Talisha that I would go see them tonight. I promised them about a week ago.
Be prepared to talk for longer if they start to talk about any issues or concerns. Don't push them into it. Let it happen at their pace.
All right. Well, that's good. At least you definitely know what you want to do.
And since I've been doing Triple P, I've been taking part in a music and a computer. Not that I particularly like it, but I've been taking interest. And she'll come into my bedroom now. Have you got time, Nan? Will you sit with me for half an hour? Whereas I say, yeah, just give me a minute. I'm doing something, then I'll come to you. Whereas we didn't do that before.
Creating opportunities for your teenager to talk to you keeps the communication channels open and helps you both find out what the other is doing. It's important to show teenagers that you're interested in them and you care about them.
With teenagers, show warmth and affection more along adult lines.
Don't worry, son. I think everything's going to work out. I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. All right.
And never stop giving them a hug. Obviously, if there are other children around, you have to be very careful when you select to give them a love and a kiss. But I think sometimes you have to be a little bit sensitive. If they're having an off day, perhaps in front of their friends isn't the right time to do that.
He just actually has to hear me humble myself and just put down all the barriers that my dad had when he was raising me, and just actually hear me say, son, I love you, and just grab him and give me a hug.
I'm very affectionate as a man, and sometimes, with not the son so much, with the daughter, as she gets older, I gotta show affection, but I don't want to cross any kind of sexual lines, you know what I'm saying? So whereas I want to show affection, but I don't want it to be misconstrued more than anything by other people.
Teenagers need to learn how to give and receive affection as they grow into adults, and parents can set them a good example. Sometimes there are opportunities for friendly teasing and having a laugh together. These can be good ways for parents to show affection.
One important way of increasing desirable behaviour that you only see occasionally is to show your appreciation each time you see your teenager doing it.
Good job, Bruno. Thanks.
This makes it more likely they'll do it again.
Hey, Akira, you got some fluff on your face. Maybe you might have to shave it off before you go to school.
Just like younger children, teenagers respond well to praise if it's done with care.
Well done, son. I'm really proud of you for ignoring your brother's teasing.
Giving praise or approval works best when you're clear and specific and describe exactly what your teenager did that you like. Be enthusiastic and sincere. Mean what you say.
We praise the boys when they do something well because it shows them
to do it again in the future, and it makes them feel good about doing it. Everybody likes a little praise.
There are many ways of giving attention to teenagers that won't embarrass them. A smile, a wave, or just a nod of the head. These can be ways to increase desirable behaviour.
Well, she isn't a person that likes to be touched very much. She isn't. But lately she started putting her arms around me, which is unusual. So, and I think we feel closer to one another now and probably more loving to one another, because before it was that much shouting going on. I think we were beginning to hate one another. You know, it was like this. And you find it very difficult to find a part for praise. And she'd be shouting all day long, you know, but she doesn't seem to raise her voice as much now. No, it's and it's amazing, really. It's been a different household in this last few weeks. It really has.
Encourage teenagers to try out new and different activities. This may mean offering to help, supervise, organise, transport or attend fundraising functions.
One of the most important things about being a parent is if something is important to your child, you need to make it important to yourself. As in, if they're really interested in a sport that you don't like, you don't have to like the sport, but it has to be important to you. You have to get them there on time, and you have to encourage them just like if it was something that you like.
We do lots of things together. We've got a big allotment. The main reason I got that was so that the children could have the freedom where they were safe to go and play. They've got their own play area around there.
We go hiking every now and then.
I will take them to the pool.
Resist demands by teenagers for the newest and the best equipment when they're just trying out something.
Oh, you think you get me that one? No, that's too expensive, son. Maybe we could get one online. Or second-hand one.
Active and engaged teenagers are much less likely to get into trouble. Many activities can be located using internet searches. Or try the local library, radio station or community newspaper.
Do you want to do any racket sports? Do you want me to book any racket courts for this holidays? Any of you?
Yeah. Maybe tennis.
Yeah, some tennis. Not table tennis?
No, tennis.
Okay. That'll be fine. I'll give the gym a ring.
Laser tagging starts on Thursday.
Well, perhaps we'll do it Thursday then, not Wednesday, if it's starting on Thursday.
You may have to help them make contact or even go with them until they're more confident. You may even become interested in the activity yourself.
You know, see, he's into dirt biking. I'm beginning to get into the mechanics of putting the parts together. So I like doing that with him. He knows a lot about it. He shows me actually a few things.
Now that we've seen how we might increase behaviours our teenagers can already do, we need ways to help teach new skills and behaviours.
As parents, we've learned many skills that we can pass on to our teenage children to help them become independent young adults. One good way to do this is to prompt them to watch you doing something and then get them to copy you. Praise and encourage them until they master the new skill.
Very good. But be gentle, no? Yeah. If you press it too hard, then it's gonna be harder for you to peel it. And be careful with your fingers. Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Where a task is longer and more complicated, guide them through in a series of steps.
OK, Tyler, show me what I've just shown you how to switch off the washing machine and take the washing out, please. The door did open then, yeah? Can you remember what happens if the red light's flashing and the door doesn't open?
Wait for 30 seconds.
Teenagers will copy other things parents do, and that includes things you'd rather they didn't copy.
I think the most important things about being a parent is that you have to actually do what you say is right. You have to set an example. If you're doing one thing and then you tell the child you need to do the opposite, he's going to look at it like, why? You're not doing it.
Another powerful way to help your teenagers learn new skills is to coach them in problem solving. This involves waiting until they're struggling with a problem or wanting you to solve it for them.
So what's the problem?
The dirt bike, it's not starting up.
and my Kickstarter's broken.
Even if you know the answer,
Kickstarter.
see if your teenager can come up with an idea of their own before you suggest it, so they learn for themselves.
What's wrong with your Kickstarter, son?
Strip.
Strip? Oh, man. Strip. How hard is it going to be to replace it?
I don't know. I have to get a drill and take the screw off because it's complicated. It's like stripped.
Prompt them to think about how they might solve the problem, then guide them towards a solution.
We're going to have to replace that.
I'm just going to have to get the parts.
Just get the parts for it? Okay. Well, let's see. We're going to have to look in the yellow pages. Computer's up, so we can just go online and we just do a quick search for used dirt bike parts. And then we'll just go pick one up.
All right. There we go.
And of course, praise them for their efforts. With more complex problems, you may need to go through the following steps together. First, clarify the goal. This means helping your teenager work out what the outcome would be if the problem was solved.
So, there's this concert coming up, and I don't have any money. It's like $80 for a ticket.
Transportation?
For like $100.
Okay. All right, so how much is it going to be exactly?
For like $100.
Okay.
The next step is to list some possible solutions. Get your teenager to suggest as many ways to solve the problem as they can think of. Encourage them to be as creative as possible.
Okay, well, let's look at our options of how we're going to raise that money, or how you're going to raise that money.
I could get a job.
Yeah? Anything else?
I could borrow the money.
Sure. Can you think of anything else? Any other way that you might be an option?
Maybe I could sell something. I don't really know what I could sell.
Okay, all right. Well, there are 3 really good options, Ashley.
Don't do all the work yourself. Your job is to ask the right questions to help your teenager think about different ways they might solve the problem. If they're really stuck, you can make a suggestion or 2, but keep prompting them to work through the steps with you.
Yeah. So let's try and have a look at those options one at a time and see what's going to fit best.
All right, so getting a job. I don't think anyone's hiring in the next 2 weeks, so there's borrowing money. I don't think anyone has $100 that they want to lend me.
Well, I certainly can't. You know I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And what about option number 3?
I could sell something. I know Maggie likes that jacket, so I could sell that to her. I don't really wear it, so I could sell that.
The third step is to have your teenager consider the likely consequences for each solution. What are the chances it would solve the problem? Or would it create another problem? Or maybe even make things worse?
Okay, so all those options that we have, let's give them a rating to see how they're going to go for you. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best option. So let's go through them all again and see what's going to suit you the best.
All right.
So option 1?
So getting a job, probably a 1. I don't think that's very likely. Number 2, well, that was borrowing money. I don't think anyone's going to want to lend me $100, so probably a 1. I know Maggie likes that jacket, so I could sell that to her. So that'd probably be around a 6.
Okay.
Could work.
All right, so that could work for you?
Yeah.
Well, that was a good way of seeing what's going to be working best for you. Okay.
Encourage them to select the solution that has the best rating.
So Ashley, after talking about all the options, what have you decided?
Well, it looks like selling my jacket's the best option.
Encourage them to try out the solution they selected to see if it works.
Maybe I should go give Maggie a call right now and see if she's still interested.
Look, I think that's a great idea. Let me know how it goes.
All right, thanks, Mum.
Okay.
Later on, review the solution. Ask them how well it worked. If it didn't work out, you may need to help your teenager revise it and try again. When a behaviour does not occur as often as we might like, a little extra motivation may be required until it is occurring more frequently. Behaviour contracts can be very effective here.
A behaviour contract allows your teenager to earn privileges in return for improvements in desired behaviours. Your teenager should be involved in setting up the behaviour contract, even though they may not fully agree with the end result.
Kathy, the reason I've asked you to sit down and talk to me for a little while is I won't keep you too long. You know we're having problems about you coming off your computer.
Yeah.
And you're going to bed really late and you're getting tired. And you get nazzy in the morning because it's late. Well, I think you ought to be able to come off it a little bit earlier. So what I suggest that we do this behaviour contract, that we both sign a contract, right? And I want you to come off your computer at 10:15. What do you think about that?
Maybe.
The behaviour contract was to do with the computer. She'd be on it. So I'd say, I want you off at 10:30. 10:30 had come, 25 to 11 had come, 11 o'clock had come, and then they'd be shouting. And then she'd call me names and that. So I said to her, we're doing a contract. She says, how ridiculous is that? It's like school, she says to me. I said, well, it's like school or not, we're doing a contract. And this contract is between me and you.
Here are some guidelines for setting up a workable behaviour contract to encourage appropriate behaviour. Clearly describe the behaviour and state it positively, such as wash the dishes after tea every school day evening. Agree on an appropriate reward or privilege that'll be earned for improvements in the required behaviour.
This might be something your teenager wants more of, such as extra phone credit or computer time, or it might be something that they've been getting until now without having to earn it.
Because I've attended the Triple P Positive Parenting Programme, the teen programme, I have used the behaviour contract for 3 of my sons, and I found that worked because even though I drew up the words, I sat with each boy separately, not as the whole family, and I said, well, what treat would you like? So they had to go away and think about the goals that they wanted to set for themselves. So I wasn't going to set it, so, you know, that might make them fail.
The next step is to agree how much reward or extra privilege will be earned for specified improvements in the required behaviour.
And if you come off it at 10:15, you get 50p extra on top of your money that you already earn.
Maybe.
And if you do it for a full week, you get an extra £3 at the weekend if you do it for a full week. So how does that sound?
All right, but not sure.
But if we don't stick to the 10:15, then every 5 minutes you go over, you're allowed to go on till midnight at the week. Well, Friday night and Saturday night. So if you go over that time, I shall knock 15 minutes off your weekend on the computer. 15 minutes each time that you go over the 5.
But why?
Because you're not coming off at 10:15 when I asked you to. How do you feel about that? Would you give it a try?
Yeah, all right then.
See how it goes?
Yeah.
OK then, fine. So I said, you've got to be off it at 10:15. Not 20 past, not 2 minutes past, 10:15. And I shall remind you at 10 past. And if you come off it at 10:15, you get 50p extra. Then that, no, it doesn't sound much money, but for just doing that, you know, 50p extra. And she says, oh, I don't know about that. And I said, well, think about it, because it's either that or at weekends you come off it at 10:15 too. Well, that changed her mind then. Oh, no, then, all right, then, I'll do that then, ain't we? As long as I can go later at weekends. So that the contract stuck. And then, but she hates to think now if she goes over, I take the 50p, she doesn't get it. But to do, I stick to it. She said, that weren't fair. It was only 4 minutes. I said, well, a contract's a contract.
Here are some tips to help design a contract that will work. Reward improvement rather than perfection. You can always raise the bar later. Select rewards that are practical and affordable. Select small rewards that can be earned daily rather than large rewards that take several weeks or months to earn. Select a choice of rewards rather than just one. Many rewards lose their effect over time. Make sure you can deliver what you promise, or the contract won't work. The goal is for the teenager to improve or increase the specified behaviour in return for increased privileges. The final steps involve writing down what's been agreed, so there's no argument later on, and setting up a monitoring chart. The monitoring chart is important so that everyone knows when a reward has been earned and when it hasn't.
Right, you can see that you've earned some money this week, yeah? But Sunday, nothing was done. You've done everything you was meant to do on Monday. We've had a few problems Tuesday. And after school, Wednesday and Friday went really well. But obviously, to write all this down.
Behaviour contracts can be used over a few weeks and then gradually phased out.
It is reasonable for children to contribute more around the home as they get older. This should not be imposed without discussion, but negotiated at times when everyone is relaxed and not in a hurry.
Some parents object to providing rewards for behaviour they believe teenagers should just do. However, if the behaviours parents want are not occurring despite their best efforts at persuasion, they may resort to force or nag or yell at the teenager until they do what the parent wants.
Sadie, can you come and help me?
No, I'm watching TV.
Sadie, please come and help me. There are more bags downstairs.
It is only 10 minutes.
Sadie, please come and help me.
No, it's only 10 minutes.
No, bring the bags.
These tactics often cause resentment and anger all around and can lead to serious conflict.
Some parents may have tried and failed to get their teenagers' cooperation.
You need to come and clean up the mess you've left in the kitchen.
I'll do it later.
No, I want you to do it now.
Well, if it's such a big problem, why don't you do it? I'm kind of busy at the moment.
You never help, Charlotte. You never help.
Whatever.
Some parents just find it easier to give up and do it themselves. However, the teenager then avoids learning the skills they will need when they leave home to live as an independent adult.
Working out family rules or setting up behaviour contracts can take time and usually can't be done well in a hurry. One way to deal with this is to hold a family meeting.
Many families discover they don't often come together to talk to each other about important issues. Holding a family meeting gives the message that you are serious about dealing with these matters and increases the chances that something will happen.
Here are some tips about holding a successful family meeting. Select a time when everyone can be present. Remove or turn off distractions such as the TV or telephone. Have an agenda so everyone knows what's going to happen. Agree on a time limit. Meetings that go too long will turn everyone off the idea. Have a few guidelines to make sure the meeting runs smoothly. For example, speak quietly and wait until the speaker has finished. You may like to give each person a role for the meeting. Chairperson, timekeeper, note-taker. Rotate the job so everyone gets to try them. Finally, if possible, arrange for something pleasant to occur after the meeting's over, such as the family staying together for a favourite snack or a TV show.
Family meetings can be useful for a number of things as well as setting up a behaviour contract.
We all cook a meal, we all decide who does the starter, the main meal, the sweet, and anything else that, popcorn and things like that. And we sit around the table, and it's then that we have a family discussion. If there's something that needs to be addressed, it's addressed then.
The family meetings are useful just because what it does is it gets everybody's feelings out in the open. If you don't talk about it and you don't know what's going on, then something could be wrong and you could keep repeating it and there's nothing you could do about it if you don't actually know.
They help a lot, mainly because it gets everybody involved. So it's not just my wife and I dictating, it's like a group discussion. So yeah, family meetings are excellent.
If they're organised properly, family meetings can be fun and can help make the family run more smoothly.
In this section, we've looked at how to encourage appropriate behaviour in teenagers. The strategies we've just seen to develop a positive relationship are spending time together, talking with your teenager, and showing warmth and affection. We've also seen how to increase desirable behaviour by showing appreciation and giving praise. Giving your teenager attention when they behave well, and helping them to become involved in engaging activities. We also considered strategies to help teenagers learn new skills and behaviours. These were setting a good example, coaching problem solving, and using behaviour contracts. Finally, we considered how holding family meetings might help to discuss these ideas together in a positive way.
You may like to choose one or two of these strategies to try out at home. Remember to keep track of how it goes. In the next section, we'll look at strategies to help manage problem behaviour.